Hey guys, what's up? It's Dredrick, and today I have something, again, just a little bit different for you. Ever since Reforged has been announced, there's been a ton of old players coming back to the game, myself included, and new players trying to pick up the game for the first time. And one thing that has always stood out to me as missing from our community has been a resource for people to be able to learn strategies. There's some older things available, and occasionally you'll see some build order videos or things like that, but there's no good place for someone that's new to look and say, how do I play this game competitively? What strategies do I need to use to do this? And so I've gone ahead and tried to fill that gap, and I've created something pretty cool. So I have a big scrapbook. I take a ton of notes when I'm watching games or replays, and I keep them on my phone. I keep them in a notebook next to my desk, and I've taken these and consolidated a lot of my notes into build orders and strategies that people can look at and use. So I've made an Evernote book. Evernote, if you don't know, is something that's like OneNote or Google Sheets or something like that. Basically, it's just an application you can use to take notes and organize them. And I've made something like this. It has build orders for all the matchups you could want with Undead, and you can take a look at it, and you can see all of my notes and all these build orders that I have. So, for example, here is a 4 Ghoul into Shade build that I saw from WFC, and I took notes on what the build order that he used was, and I watched a couple replays of him doing it, and I organized it into something that someone could look at and see the strategy on paper, and you don't have to watch a bunch of replays to figure it out. You can just look at this this note and see, okay, here's the strategy. There's replays attached. I'm adding additional notes with like pros and cons of the strategies, as well as like other information to use. Here's a really awesome one. This is Night End's strategy versus Elf, where he does a read where he goes to tier 2 and then he decides to either counter expand or go to tier 3, and you can look at the build order here and you can see what he does, and I have it all laid out for you. So with replays attached and everything, it's a really cool resource, and I think it would be awesome if people thought that this was something that they could use. So I've made this public. I'm going to put the link in the description for you to take a look at. Please check it out if you're an Undead player and this is something you want to look at. I'd like to add other strategies, maybe even for other races at some point. Right now, it is just the Undead strats, and it's not done yet. So this is very much a work in progress. Over the next couple days and weeks, I'm going to keep adding to this and keep putting more and more information in here. Right now, I have 6 up and running so far, but you know, I'm adding more every day. So I'd like to keep this updated. There's been some changes, like for example, the Happy Push. Ever since I made that video, and I'm going to make more videos about the builds in this, and I'm going to keep doing that, and I will add those as notes in here so you can get a link to the video if there is one for the strategy you're looking at. But for example, the Happy Push, even though I made a video about it, there's been a couple small changes I've made to the build since then. For example, a big one is in the video, I said that you should go Slaughterhouse and then Lich, which is what Happy does. But after doing study, I've realized that it's actually better to go Lich first and then Slaughterhouse, which is updated in this. So that's one of the great advantages of having this kind of thing, is that as changes to the meta happen and as changes to these strategies occur, you know, we don't need to make like a whole new video or a big new post about it. It could just be updated in the notebook here. And so as people come and take a look at it, then you can see changes. And I'll put, anytime that there's updates to the builds, I'll put notes in the build order list, probably down here in like the additional notes. I'll put a change log where I'll list if there have been changes to it. And this way we can have a resource for Undead players and, you know, possibly other players in the future to look at as the meta evolves, as we go into do patches. I can keep this updated with new build orders and new strategies, and it's a really important thing, I think, to have this kind of shared knowledge for this kind of game. You know, information is key. In Warcraft, micro is really important, but you still need good strategies and good clean builds in order to be competitive. So that's what this is about. This is about being kind of having a central resource that we can share with Undead players, and you know, keep the information going. So something like this, if I had something like this when I was coming back to the game and trying to learn what the new strategies were in the current patch, this would have saved me so much freaking time. This would have been amazing. But it wasn't there, and I felt like I had to step up to the plate here and put something like this together. So again, there's 6 builds in here right now, but you know, by the end of this weekend, I'm gonna have probably 8 builds in here. There's a couple others that I don't have the Undead Mirror strategies in here, just like the Death Knight Fiend build or the Lich Ghoul build. I don't have those in here yet. They're both in progress, but they're just not done yet. There's another Night Elf strategy that I have about halfway done right now. It is a like tier 3 push with ghouls. So there's a bunch of stuff that I still need to add to this, but you know, I think there's enough in here now that I can share this with people and let you guys know this exists. So if you're an Undead player out there and you want to take a look at this, links in the description. Please check it out and give me some feedback on it, on the format of the information presented itself in here. I probably have some spelling errors here and there, so if I screw something up and there's a stupid spelling error, let me know, and I'll go ahead and get that changed. But yeah, I just wanted to get this information out there to people, let them know that this exists, and hopefully that I can continue to grow this resource and make it into something that is really special for Undead players out there. And I am focused on the Undead stuff right now just because that's what I know. But you know, if people really want more than that, if people really want the human, the Night Elf, the Orc strategies, then that's definitely something that we can do in the future. We can start adding in that other things. I might need some help from people that know those races better to do that, but that's something we can look at. But for right now, you know, I'm adding my own information to this, and my own information is mostly about the Undead. But yeah, so hopefully you guys think this is something that is useful, that's cool, and please don't hesitate to let me know what you think, some constructive feedback, some appreciative feedback, whatever you've got, I want to hear about it. So thank you very much, and I will see you next time.